Hi, my name is Shirley Wu, and my project is titled Though a Patriarchy Would Privilege the Changelessness of the Sun over the Inconstancy of the Moon and You. I started working on this project in a class called Time, where we were assigned a book called A Sideways Look at Time by Griffiths, which is the text that I took inspiration and got the title of this project from. And this book talks about how if we think about time as only the very narrow construct of keeping track of time with clocks and calendars, then we're missing a larger perspective and a larger way to understand time. And she urges us to look at time, especially in nature and around us, in the way that there's seasonal migration patterns for birds, or the way that tides come in and out because of the moon, the way that the moon has a cycle of new moon to full moon back to new moon, and also the way that our bodies as women have its own natural cycle with the menstrual cycle. And so where I ended with the project is it is a physical piece with 3 distinct parts. The first part being a pump that pumps red ink onto the rest of the piece. The second being a circular plate with the moon phases printed on it. And the last part being a long and awkwardly narrow plate with the 31 days of a month printed on it. And this piece performs over the course of 30 minutes. And in those 30 minutes, the moon plate slowly but smoothly turns a full turn according to the moon cycle. The calendar plate in that same plate will progress from the 1st of the month to the 31st of the month, and then snaps back and then starts all over again. And it repeats that 12 times. And in those 30 minutes, I have also mapped my personal menstrual data from 2020. So on the days of the month where I had my period, the pump will drip red ink onto the corresponding day in that calendar plate. One of the things I was really excited about while working on this project is how much attention I was able to give to the materiality of the project. So, for example, with the lunar plate, because that was my representation of nature, I used wood for that. With the calendar plate, because I think of it as a very man-made human construct of time, I used acrylic. I got to show this project at the winter show, and it was a really interesting but also kind of personal and vulnerable experience, because I've always felt comfortable talking about my period with my friends and my partner, but I've never had to explain it so many times to strangers. And this project was really kind of born from this personal experience of feeling always at odds and feeling really awkward with my body and my menstrual cycle, because I grew up thinking that there was something wrong with my body, that it never fell onto the same days of the month, when I've been told that it's called the days of the month. And so I, especially in my teenage years, I would be really surprised and feel a lot of shame that I didn't know it was coming, until about 7 years ago. And I started trying out a period tracking app. And that was when I realized, oh no, like my cycle is actually very irregular. And what is actually really irregular is the solar calendar that starts with 31 days, then goes to 30 days, then goes to 28 or sometimes 29 days. And so of course my period never landed on the same day. The problem isn't me. The problem was never me. And so the most rewarding part is that in revealing something so personal and vulnerable, I was rewarded with a lot of really great and meaningful conversations. And I think I was able to understand myself and the project better because of the reactions and the conversations that I was able to have because of it.